Hello, viewers. Welcome to today's episode of Raw Conversation. And with me today, I've got my co-host, Antom.
Hello, David.
Hello, and I've got Onye in the house. Onye is our guest speaker for today. And hello, Onye.
Hi.
Okay, so on today's episode, I've got an interesting topic for us all. And then we're talking about unwanted pregnancy. And I think straight up, I'm just going to paint a scenario with the unwanted pregnancy question so we can speak based on context. So we can speak in relationship to, in relations to what I'm about to say. So we've got a couple that have been literally married for 8 years. They've not been able to conceive in that 8 years. 8 years later, they are expecting a child, and they find out that the child is going to have a Down syndrome. As a man, what would you do? And as a lady, what would you do? Would you keep the pregnancy or would you take out the baby? So I need to hear our opinions.
Do I go first?
Yeah, go.
Okay, I don't know. From the woman's perspective, I think I'm going to speak, I'll start with gender, but not my personal opinion yet. I feel like after 8 years, the woman is just in a hurry to prove to the world that, oh, I can have a child, regardless of the health or whatever complications is attached. She just wants to show everybody or whatever gossips she must have heard. So it's like a backlog of barrenness, like, I finally can get pregnant, regardless of the health of this child, which jeopardizes the life of this child in the long run. But in retrospect, in my own personal opinion, I do not think one should keep that sort of pregnancy. If you've gotten pregnant, that is a breakthrough. You can get pregnant again, hopefully. But
irrespective of how many IVFs, how many amount of money you spend,
I know all of this, but
the
then
mental stress.
Emotions will cloud your judgment in this case. You won't be able to think properly or think of what is best for this child. Do you have what it takes all of the time and most of your life you're going to sacrifice in raising this child? I mean, these are questions we should ask. But like I said, in the case like this, you're not thinking straight. You just want to have this baby. You want to probably prove or hope that the one you have afterwards will be normal, which you're not even so sure of.
All right, real quick, let's hear Ansom's opinion. Ansom, what do you think?
Okay, I think to the viewers, there's no right, there's no wrong. People have different opinions, but I have just one question that would maybe spark another conversation.
Well, you've not even answered.
Wait, before I answer the question,
Yeah.
who decides who lives and who dies? Because now it's okay to say unwanted pregnancy. It's okay to go the route of for the woman, she can try again, she can do. We are forgetting that this is a conversation of life and death.
So are you saying that you're comfortable having a child with special needs, even when you have the option of not making that child go through that process?
I'm saying it's not my choice to make.
So whose choice is it then?
The child.
No.
To live or not to live is not
No.
in my hands. You know what? I see a lot of people trying to play God to decide who lives and who dies.
No. That
It's-
is absolutely contrary to what we were talking about. It is not even your child yet. It is not even a human being yet.
Now, do you mean?
You probably went to the hospital for a scan, and then they detected that this child has a
Did you just say-
deformation
did you just say
in its
it's not- did you
brain
just say
and
it's not my child
aneurysms.
yet?
Yes, it isn't even human yet.
Let me tell you, I have a daughter. I started bonding with my daughter from the moment my wife told me I'm pregnant.
And that is fine. This
And
is
I would
personal to
speak
you.
to
But
her.
medically
Let me tell you,
speaking,
it was so interesting that I would speak and then the baby would
kick.
move.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've heard that too.
So the question is, when did it's
No,
just
but
very-
to ask you your own question, you said whose decision is it to make?
Yes.
It is the both of you, the couple, to make. I mean, it's like a spreadsheet here.
Yeah.
So whose decision is it to make, if not the parents? So do you want the child to grow up after being
Just
through
answer
the
this
process
question.
of having all of these special needs, getting bullied?
just answer this
which is-
question? Who decides who lives and who dies?
I will decide. I am the mother.
You decide
Yes,
who
I
lives and who
will.
dies.
I will decide what child to have and what child not to have. I will. I make that sole
But
decision.
what will be your parameters for deciding which one lives or which one dies?
Your health, my financial, my mental, my emotional capability. I do not have that much patience. I do not have it in me to invest so much of my life into raising a child who's going to
let me tell you a
who
story.
has special needs.
Let me tell you a story. I know someone very close to me, fantastic, intelligent. He's one of the most amazing persons I've met in my life.
Okay.
He's in his late 30s.
Okay.
And
Special
he's
needs?
SS. No, he's SS.
Oh, okay.
And this person went through a series of crises, and now he's doing well for himself.
Okay, so
Now imagine if at that before he decided to leave, we took away that opportunity, that decision from him.
Statistically speaking,
Okay,
what is
so-
the
Why are we doing
probability?
statistics for life?
What's the probability
answer.
that
So what I'm hearing now
a
is
sickle
this:
cell patient
is it the
makes
fact
to
because
30?
he is a sickle cell? Is that why he's successful or not? That's not the reason why he's
No,
successful.
I'm not talking about.
And then
if he's
again, is the parents? The both are aware that I hear SAS, and why do they want the child to go through that series of pain at the detriment of their own love?
First, it is irresponsible of the parents to make that decision to even get into that relationship in the first place.
But they've made,
Absolutely.
now
But
what I'm hearing now is
it
they've now
happened.
made the decision on behalf of the child.
So they made the decision before conception. Once conception is in play, you can't play God.
Okay, so now here's what I'm hearing again. So if I know there's a way, not like I know, I've heard there's a way that you could know the genotype of a baby before the baby is born. Is that true?
Yeah, you can even run DNAs. for an
Okay,
unborn
great.
Baby.
Okay.
So if you can do that and you find out that this child is going to be an SS,
Yeah.
are you going to keep the child?
I want to ask you a question. The reason for not keeping the child is because you want to protect the child from pain, right?
Absolutely.
Can you ever protect anyone from 100% pain?
But I will do my best to curtail the one I can.
Which is to take the person's life.
The rigorous crisis they go
By
through.
taking the person's life.
But how about the psychological effect of that on
I've not even given it
you?
life yet. So why don't I just take it?
So the way it's funny, right? Let me place it this way. Now it's in your womb. You have the decision to make, right? To say I don't want or I want.
Yeah.
Imagine if you've put to bed, right? And then 2 weeks later, something happened, and the doctor says this baby cannot survive. This baby cannot go through life in a
Then I will allow
healthy way.
I will allow God take his course. But if I have the premonition
what's the-
that
but-
this baby
but how
is not
come we
going
can't
to be
prevent that child
healthy,
from pain anymore? I thought the idea
no,
was to
that is beyond
No, but
me.
the doctor already
within the
certified it
ambit
that the
of
child
information
will be
I
in
had
pain.
That,
Yes.
exactly. If I'd
So-
known that earlier, I wouldn't have.
No,
had the
this is
baby.
2 weeks. 2 weeks you've put to bed. 2 weeks, and the doctor says, "Hey, this baby for the rest of his life, this baby will be in pain."
Yeah, so at that point in time, you also have a decision to make as the parent.
To keep or not to keep.
Yeah, exactly.
After birth.
Because
Yes.
No, I don't subscribe to that. The very day I have this child, regardless of
don't
whatever.
don't get me wrong. What
special
I'm
needs
saying in
they
this
have.
context is this:
My
is
child.
when you're giving birth to the child, and doctor says the child is going to be in pain, is what kind of pain are we talking about?
Extreme pain for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks of birth, the child will be in pain for the rest of his life or her life.
What kind of pain? These are scenario-based questions here. These are not facts.
No, it will.
So that's why I'm asking that.
Cerebral pain,
So,
meaning all the nervous system affected.
so there must be a solution.
There's no solution.
There isn't.
If there's no solution, then there's no way to manage it. The child will just be in constant pain.
Yes.
Then that's understandable.
How
And
is
what,
it?
what I mean is
Because
understandable
the
is
form of your conversation
No.
initially
What I'm
was that
saying
you're
now-
trying to protect the
no.
child
What
from
I'm saying
pain.
now is okay. What if you had known that the child would be in pain for the rest of his life before you give birth to that child? What would you have done?
My stance still the same. I'll
So
do my
I've
best.
had it.
I'll do my best to be the best father,
No,
whether the child
no,
is whether the
no.
child
And that-
is
and that is
whether
what
the
I'm
child
trying
is
to
special or
convince
not.
you
I will
about.
do my best to be the best
whatever
father.
idea of best you think you have, whatever amount of love you want to pour into that child, does not suffice for you stopping that pain. You could have made the decision
That's
to
what I'm
stop
saying.
the
Do you
child
know
from
how
going
many
through.
lives would have ended? How many great lives would
No,
have
but-
would have
but
denied
they
the
are
world
not.
of because we are trying
I'm
to.
sure I've shared this with you guys before. Of a friend of mine that was born an SS, and eventually he's dead now. But all his life he hated his parents, all because they made a stupid decision, according to him. Of you, both of you are aware that we're ASAS. So on what basis did you guys get married?
And I've also shared my story
Now-
about the friend I have who is still alive, who is SS and doing great.
And this
Yeah,
is one
and
out
now-
of 100.
And now
This
the
is a
guy
rare
lived in
case.
pain.
The rarity
So
of
the
your
situation
friend's
is
case
mentioned that he
is
lived in pain all his
mind-blowing.
life, and eventually he died. The marriage they were trying to protect from the onset eventually crashed.
Anyway.
So at what point do you now say this is right or a wrong decision to me? I mean, it does honestly just make sense to me
I'm trying to
put someone in a place of pain.
So I'm going to try to convince you as best as I can. And
All right.
I'm going to give very easy analogies, yeah? It's like, let's use lab rats, for example. Would you know, I mean, we even see in movies, yeah? When people go to war, when soldiers go to war, like, there's a bomb detonated and then their legs are blown off, yeah? And he tells his friend, please just shoot me. Just save me the pain.
It's his
and
choice.
shoot me. I cannot live life.
You can't take away the choice to live from an individual.
No, answer.
No, but
So
this
what
one is giving
the
consent.
example she has, the example,
his
no,
choice, he made
wait.
the choice.
The example she has cited now, I've said shoot me, so I don't want to be in pain anymore. It's your choice to either shoot me or not.
But we're saying the same thing now. It's all about the person in pain making that decision.
So when I've made
to
that
live
decision,
or not to live.
No,
exactly. So I've made the decision of
to
saying
bring it in the context
shoot
of a
me,
child, yeah?
and if you give your consent to hit, you could either shoot me or not, right? So you either end the pain for me in a faster way, or you allow me bleed out, or you allow me die by the guns of the enemy. But as a soldier, I would rather prefer to be killed by my own person, knowing full well that I asked for it.
Thank you. That's my point. They asked for it.
Good.
But
Now,
Can you allow the child ask for it?
but the point is the child is
when
not
I
able
have
to make that
beforehand
decision.
Information that
And
you're going to go
that's
through
what I'm saying.
life.
See, the thing is, people try to, and I'm not trying to undermine what people go through by no means.
Yeah.
But people try to run away from the responsibility of being there in difficult times.
Okay.
But that is being truthful. I can't be
let me
there
ask
for
let me
you.
answer this question, yeah?
So,
I
did you
can't
just
be
say-
there for you.
so
answer
it's
my question,
selfish
yeah.
because you cannot be
no,
there for the
not.
person.
It is,
No.
it is selfish of you
It's
to
selfish of-
impose
I-
your needs
I'm not
on
imposing.
me.
I'm saying I would be there for you for the longest until you're able to decide what you want.
Wait. So in this case now, the child has Down syndrome. You said you allow the child decide whether he wants to live or not. That means you give birth to the child, right?
Yes.
Yes or no? Good. Now, I haven't given birth to the child is in his 18 and above, yeah? And the child says, you know what? I cannot continue to see myself in this
Would that
form.
not devastate you more to
Would
have
you-
a grown child?
Would you want your
Want to
child
take
with
their
special
life?
to walk up to you and tell you that based on what I've faced, the kind of pains I've been through, I want to end it all?
Would
First
you
of all-
rather that?
First of all, I'm human. I'll be devastated, but it's left to that child to
No.
decide.
So are you
no.
saying that if that child decides to end his life and he says that's my final decision, nothing more, nothing else, there's nothing you say to me, this is the end point? Are you saying you allow that child take?
You're missing the point. The point is not.
So guys,
it's not
as you're
within
saying
me.
this, please, I
It's-
need your comment sections. I need you guys to comment in
Yes,
the comment section. Yeah.
You're missing the point. The point is, it's not in my place to allow or disallow. I'm not God.
No,
I will
it
never play
is
God.
in your place. You're
No.
denying
Let's
it.
not
You're
let's
in
not let's not
denial.
do
If
play
you
God.
had- if you
Let's
had
not do play God or not play God.
information to either
We're
have
talking
this
about
child or not.
let's not do play God or not play God. We're talking about based on what you've said. The child has come to you to say, Dad, you know what? I'm done with this pain.
Okay.
I want to leave. And that's my final decision. And you said you won't decide whether to do it or not to do it.
See, let me tell you, the best I can do is cancel. But if
And
the child
if I-
decides, would I strip the child of every opportunity the child gets to end his life?
So that's
Or
what you
her
say.
life?
So invariably you say that you'd allow the child.
I would say I
You
would
allow
be
the
there-
child carry out his own decision.
No, what I'm saying is clear. I would not be party to anybody taking a life because I'm not even responsible for giving a life.
So are you saying that if your child
Let
says
me
that
ask you a
decision,
question.
you
Why do
allow
you think
it?
it's okay to take a life?
I don't think it's okay to take
But
a
you
life.
just consented to the
No.
fact that
No.
No.
you just consented the fact that it's okay to take a life because you want to prevent the baby from going through pain.
Okay, so number
You are
one is
equating absolute murder and maybe
it's
abortion.
English.
No.
It's
no,
English.
So
Whether
yes.
it's absolute
Yes,
murder
I mean,
or
and that's why these
it's-
words
it's
are
English.
there. They have meanings. These words have meaning, right?
really?
Now, would you rather?
well,
an
you're
18-year-old
they say there's a difference between bastard and normal Ali.
see,
It's literally the same thing.
people give meanings to words. You,
And that is what we are going to do now. Would you rather an 18-year-old child of yours commit suicide rather than
me killing the child before the child had the opportunity.
You see, you've used
Please.
you used the word in
Please.
context. You said
You're
kill.
going to live
It's
all
murder.
through with the pain,
It's
with the
murder.
guilt, knowing you could have ended this even
But
before
so
you
how about
had
in
them.
countries
How
that
do
abortions
you
are not
want to-
legalized? So are you saying that they've
See,
legalized
that's what
it
I'm
too?
saying. We are going whether legality or
Okay,
non-legality.
so
the
I
point
have a
is
scenario. I have
the
a
concept
scenario.
of life.
I have a scenario just before we round this off. Yeah, a lady was raped, and for whatever reason, she didn't go for medical checkup after that rape incident. She found out she's pregnant. Would you say she should keep the child, even when she was raped by an unknown man?
So
Oh.
I stand. No. I stand by what I've said from. Ab
So you're
initio.
saying the lady should keep that
See, there are
pregnancy?
gray areas in conversations
What
like
do you
this.
mean by
It is
grey
not linear.
areas?
It is not straight jacket as you're trying to make it
No,
seem
the
that,
concept of
keep
life and
it
death
or
is
don't
straight
keep it.
jacket.
No, it is not, and that's what I'm trying to make you understand. And we need to have conversations like this.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, if people do not want to
So,
have
so
this
a lady that's been
shield-
raped should keep the baby when she has the option of taking the baby out.
I want to ask you a question.
Looking at the trauma
Have you seen people who were maybe they were raped and then they kept the baby and
they resented
no,
that
and
child.
why do you always go to the negative? There are people that are product of rape and they are thankful that I kept this baby. This baby was just
when usually more often than not, those children are usually resented by their mothers because every time they see them, it reminds them of the gory incident that
Not
even led
all.
to their
See,
birth.
you can't generalize. You can't generalize.
Usually, that is what happens.
No.
But
Okay,
if
so-
that girl had been availed the option of an abortion, do you think she wouldn't have gone for it?
Let's go to the concept of abortion. When is it right for you to abort?
Every time is right. Every time you do not want to have this child, it is right.
Okay, so I'm going to step in real quick here because we are running out of time. So I'm just going to ask one last question.
Okay.
And I just want your 1 minute answer, less than 1 minute answer, and then we'll round this off. So, a lady that has been raped, so what, and then she wants to either abort the baby or keep the baby. What's your advice?
Like I said from the get-go, it's not in our place to play God. I can't play God.
Thank you
She
very
shouldn't
much.
play God.
Oh, yeah, what's your advice? What's your take, rather?
It is not
Maybe
in-
not an advice. What's your take?
It is not in the man's place to even give an opinion in cases like this, because I mean, if she's the one who has had to go through the horrible.
You shouldn't have gone
All right,
that
so
route.
all right,
horrible
all right. So,
process
so, so
of
we're
rape.
done. We're out of
It's not
time
in the-
now.
No.
So,
She just said it's not in the man's place. So that's
Absolutely.
gender bias. First of all,
Of course,
Because
actually, I'm
you-
unashamed about it.
and then you say,
I mean,
well,
what
because
opinion should
we
a
don't
man
know-
have about a woman who doesn't want to go through
All right, so
pregnancy
you don't-
and the
because
whole
we're not
process?
in that- we're not-
all right,
we're
so
not in that
we're
shoe,
out
right?
of time. So
Wait, just wait.
No. You know what we'll do
We
now?
need to
So
address
no,
this.
we're not addressing it.
We need to address
So
it
what
because she
we're
just
going
said
to- no,
she
what
just
we're
said
going to do
something
is
now
this.
because she just said something now that the man is not in the position to
Yeah,
decide because
yes.
she's not in that shoe.
Yes, and I stand by
Well, I'm
it.
not
I
going-
agree.
I'm not
let
going-
me
I'm not going to
agree
debate
with you. So you're not in the position to speak bad about the president because you're not in his shoes. Let's end.
No,
All right,
those
so-
are dissenting views.
All right, so we need to end this right now. So, viewers, please, we want you guys to comment. We want you to share your opinion, share your view regarding this topic. So please like our page, follow, share, and subscribe.
And support me. Support my motion.
All right, thank you very much, guys.